Thanks for coming to check on me, guys.
Of course, Lauren. After what you'd just been through, we'd be crazy not to check on you.
Did they ever catch the guy who spiked your tea with Darkest Days?
No. The weirdest part was that the MTF unit caught on security camera wasn't even the same guy. Some imposter somehow stole his uniform, snuck into the break room, and returned the uniform before anyone could figure out what was happening.
I'm sorry to hear that you've been tricked into ingesting Darkest Days, Lauren. It must have been terrifying for you.
To think that this of all things would be one of the requirements of joining the Crescent Order.
What do you mean?
Have you guys ever heard of the Fallen Serpents?
No.
It all started thousands of years ago. There's a dimension called the Ecliptian Domain, the birthplace of every demonic entity in the universe. Since the beginning of time, the Ecliptian Domain was ruled by twin siblings, Azarii and Salzareth. Azarii was a kind empress who believed that all life is equally valuable and that the domain should lend a helping hand to worlds in need. Salzareth, on the other hand, believes that demons are the superior race and interacting with other sentient species is beneath them. Despite their clashing beliefs, the twins were able to run their empire efficiently. That was until Salzareth did something that really crossed the line. One day, Salzareth decided to overthrow Azarii and become the sole ruler of the Ecliptian Domain. He started by recruiting Vedros, the general of the Ecliptian Domain's military. Like Salzareth, he believed that Azarii was too soft and anything that isn't a full-blooded demon deserves to be eradicated. The two conspired to secretly rally the other prejudiced soldiers in their military and take over their own empire. Salzareth and Vedros' plan would have worked if not for Vedros' nephew, Malriker. They recruited the young demon thinking that family loyalty would prompt him to go along with their twisted plans. But contrary to his uncle and emperor, Malriker didn't want to purge the entire universe. With Malriker's testimony and help, Azarii was able to identify the traitors. However, the nightmare didn't end there. The soldiers who sided with Salzareth fought like hell when they were confronted by those still loyal to Azarii, nearly destroying the castle in the process. Just when it seemed that Salzareth and his rebels were about to fall, they escaped and fled the Ecliptian Domain, never to be seen again. Knowing her brother, Azarii suspected that he might begin terrorizing some poor civilizations or come back for revenge. To make sure it neither scenario happens, she reached out to every demon society in the universe to warn them, hell being one of them. After the ordeal, things changed for the better. Azarii appointed Malriker as the new general of the Ecliptian Domain. Eventually, the two fell in love, married, and had twin sons, Zarether and Savaris. After centuries of silence, everyone thought Salzareth and his people had given up. But that all changed over a century ago. It all started when Azarii and Malriker went to have a meeting with Satan. By then, Zarether and Savaris were fully grown and trusted to keep an eye on the Ecliptian Domain. That day, Zarether and Savaris received news that hell was invaded by Salzareth and his army, who began calling themselves the Voidborn. They didn't succeed in taking over hell. However, Azarii and Malriker were killed during the invasion. The Voidborn's attack on hell was a clear sign that they'd returned. Every demon society in the universe had been made aware of the tragedy and the Ecliptian Domain increased its security. However, no one was convinced that that would be enough. While everyone in the castle was trying to figure out what to do about the Voidborn, Savaris had an idea. He suggested that every hell in the universe allow the reincarnation of the fallen serpents. A fallen serpent is a demonmancer who used their powers to do something that offended the demon race. For example, there was a demonmancer who used his magic to summon succubi to work in his brothel where he got all of the wages. Sure, succubi love sex more than anything and don't care for money, but that's not the point. The problem was that this guy used his magic for the wrong reasons. The point of being a demonmancer is to become one with the demonic race, promote freedom and individualism, and protect those who seek those same goals. This man, however, only used his powers for monetary gain and nothing else. Therefore, he became a fallen serpent. Any demonmancer who breaks their oath to their demon lord will be sent to Judecca. For those who don't know, it's a layer in the ninth circle of hell reserved for those who betray their masters, benefactors, or God. Sounds like the perfect place for someone who betrays Satan, don't you think? Savaris believed that by bringing back the fallen serpents, the Ecliptian Domain will have more allies should the Voidborn strike again. Eventually, everyone agreed to Severus's idea, but not without some conditions. The conditions are as follows. Number 1, reincarnated fallen Serpents will be born without the memories of their lives as demonmancers. This ensures that they don't maintain whatever bad intentions they had which made them fallen serpents in the first place. Number 2, fallen serpents will regain their memories if proven worthy by the Eclipsion domain. If Zarether and Severus believe that a fallen serpent is ready, they will gain their memories including how they did their magic should they need it. Number 3, fallen serpents aren't allowed to harm the innocent. If one happens to, say, kill a supernatural entity, this will be allowed if the entity in question had evil intent. And number 4, fallen serpents are allowed to dedicate themselves to different religions. The twins understood that by the time a fallen serpent is chosen, they'd already devoted themselves to a religion they strongly believe in. They agreed that as long as the fallen serpents used their powers for good, all religious backgrounds will be accepted. Besides, being in a religion that's not right for you is uncomfortable as fuck. Since then, many fallen serpents had been reborn in more ways than one. Those of us who'd proven ourselves as potential allies have been training ourselves, preparing for the day the Voidborn makes a comeback. We even forged factions based on our chosen faiths. For example, I'm pagan. Therefore, I joined the pagan faction called the Crescent Order.
After hearing his story from Harry Potter and witnessing what happened in Site 360, I'm not surprised that Bloody Cornelius became a fallen serpent.
Ugh. Tell me about it. You'd think that being reincarnated means that your old self would be gone for good. Yet somehow, the fucker came back, albeit temporarily.
Hang on a moment. The way you told the story implies that there are other hells. Is that true?
Yeah. Every planet with intelligent species like ours was actually colonized by the Eclipsion domain. The original reason was so Azarii could share her empire's advanced intelligence wherever she could, including our world. But after what happened to her in Malriker, it became more about spreading out their forces should the Voidborn attack again.
But what happens now? What will happen to you when Zarether and Severus find out what happened?
You guys already sent Bloody Cornelius to the spirit world where he'll never hurt anyone again. Since the attempted sacrifice and everything since was actually Bloody Cornelius's doing and I'm not the one who'd purposefully brought him back, I highly doubt I'll get in trouble.
Well, the good news is that we'll never have to worry about Bloody Cornelius again. If the same thing happens to any more fallen serpents, at least we now know how to help them.
Where are you, you crazy bitch?
Oh, I'm closer than you think, Lauren.